What is up, you guys? You're watching Search Your Secret. Before I get started with today's video, if you could please give this video a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button. I post a video every single day until January 1st, and today is going to be unpopular designer opinions. So I asked you guys what video you guys wanted to see, and a lot of you guys said you wanted to see this video. I asked you guys on Instagram always to vote the next video, and a lot of you guys voted that you wanted to see this one. A lot of the videos are already pre-filmed, but sometimes I may just throw an idea that I'm thinking about, and today is going to be my designer unpopular opinions. I will say, I will not say sorry, I will not apologize for the way I feel. I know last time for my last unpopular opinions, I think I posted it in March, a lot of you guys came for me, a lot of you guys came for my little gay edges, and a lot of you guys actually were really butthurt about a lot of the opinions that I had. A lot of you guys were respectful about it, said, you know, I disagree, but you know, I agree with some of the other ones, and some people have fully agreed on a lot of them. So I will say, if you just don't agree with one, then just keep it moving. Something shouldn't really trigger you and bother you that much. But yeah, a lot of you guys came for my little gay edges, so just FYI, if these type of videos trigger you, then I mean, you're watching, so you might as well just go ahead and watch the entire video. Let's go ahead and get started. First off, Tiffany X Supreme collection. I am not here for it. I think of Tiffany and Company, I think of classy, sophistication, beautiful, dainty, you know, elegance. That's what I think of Tiffany & Co. And when I saw these kind of pictures of Supreme X Tiffany, I was very, very disappointed. It looks like they just slapped Supreme on it, just like they do with every other collection, like the Louis Vuitton one and some of the other ones. I'm personally not here for it. I think it's a little bit too typical. Like, it's just, I think there's a point where Supreme really isn't as popular as it once was. Maybe because I'm out of high school, and when I was in high school, people would wear Supreme all the time, and I don't really am into that whole, I don't really have like a lot of friends that are into that sneakerhead, or like kind of like in that kind of realm of stuff, like hypebeast products, should I say. For me, I just think it's so unoriginal, it's so typical. Like, when I thought about the collection, this is literally what I thought about, and I'm very, very disappointed. I mean, obviously we all know it's probably gonna sell out, or they're gonna make it seem like it's sold out to kind of make people even want and buy it anymore. But I just don't see the hype. I don't see why people would want this. And you'll notice what I'll talk about for the next two collections is very big popular collaboration collections are very, very trendy and don't last the test of time, or aren't as kind of like, they look a little bit too dated, a little bit too fast, and I think I've done that, a couple mistakes. Now, if I genuinely do like a collab and I genuinely do want something from it, then I will buy it, but I won't be forced or feel like I'm having FOMO, or I will miss out, or I would go through a bunch of hoops just to go get another materialistic item. Like, I already have 50 million shoes, 50 million jackets, 50 million jewelry items. Do I really need to add another one? So this Tiffany X Supreme, I'm definitely not here for it, and I just think it's unoriginal. But like I said, it will sell out, but I'm not here for it, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people aren't here for it. Second one is Fendi X Skins. When I saw this collection come out, I'm not gonna lie, I was very surprised. I really liked it when I saw on Instagram. I was like, oh my god, I love this, like I kind of want it. And I did have people kind of like DM me and tell me kind of like show me price points and everything. And when I kind of started seeing everything, and when I started seeing like celebrities getting gifted it a little bit early, or influencers, and there's nothing wrong with that, I'm here for it, because definitely if someone offered me like, you know, a Tory Burch handbag before it came out, obviously I would take it. But when I saw it kind of styled, and when I saw it kind of being kind of like, when I started styled, when I started seeing pictures of it, I quickly realized that it really wasn't for me, and it was going to have to be something that I would have to continuously buy a lot of items to style for. So if I, let's say, buy the legging or the biker short and the bodysuit, first of all, I don't even like biker shorts, so if I bought the play suit where it's like all one material for the pant and the bodysuit, what shoes am I going to have to wear with them? Am I going to wear any of the shoes that I have? I don't have anything Fendi at all currently in my collection, so I would have to go and spend more money for it, and I would have to complete a whole look, because I'm personally not going to mix and match a lot of brands. I wanted to look as seamless as possible, and so I didn't feel like I had to buy, I feel like I had to buy the whole look. And for me, I'm really starting to stay away from buying. I will buy a statement item if I already have things that will go for it, but to have to buy one item and to have to buy items to dress that one look, I'm trying to stay away from a lot. But for me, it didn't seem very original. It was just that Fendi X Skins all over it. This is a collection I feel like it's gonna look very dated, like even like a month from now it's gonna be kind of like been there, done that, kind of like Squid Games. When Squid Game comes out, everybody was talking about it, and now no, it's not the 411, the topic of conversation, like Supreme X Louis Vuitton. It's not the topic of conversation. So for me, I just feel like I'm kind of glad that I skipped out, and I'm using that money to actually, because I had set aside about like a couple $100s just to buy kind of like 2 or 3 pieces, not like the expensive jackets or like the and anything super crazy. But I'm gonna use that money to buy actually things that I actually need or would really complement my wardrobe. So for me, I was not here for it, and I just didn't see the originality in it. I think the items that didn't say Fendi X Skins, like the bodycon kind of like suede dresses and all that stuff, I think they're obviously a little bit more of the heavier price point items, but those ones seem like there's more craftsmanship. It seems like it's more well made, and versus some of the other items, it's just a Fendi X Skins. It just seemed kind of like typical, like, oh, put the logo on it and we're gonna sell out. I mean, it sold out within a couple of hours, with a couple of minutes. So I mean, they did something well and it did work for them. I'm happy for them, but I'm kind of glad that I skipped out on it, and I feel like it's something that a lot of people are gonna kind of be like, kind of like I've been there, done that. So that's kind of my opinion on it, and I'm kind of glad that I skipped out on it. My next unpopular opinion is Coach is better than some of y'all's favorite designer brands. I think Coach is really stepping it up, particularly in the full price market. I think their off-price market has gone a lot better than what it once was, but I feel like the quality of their full price items has been a lot more phenomenal. Their footwear, their accessories, everything, the designs, the type of products that come, the functionality, the price points. I think everything that they've been coming out with has been a lot better than what they've been doing. I feel like within the last 2 years, Coach has really reinvented itself, and I feel just as happy, just as prideful when I carry my Coach pillow tabby or my beat bag, just as much as I carry my handbag from the Row or from Saint Laurent. So that's how much I've been really going heavy for Coach. And there's this beautiful Coach handbag that's coming out. It's this one right here, and I'm planning on purchasing it. It gives me the gay holiday vibes. I do feel like Coach's quality has gotten like a lot better, and I'm more excited to buy a Coach item than even Chanel or even Louis Vuitton, if you ask me. So that's the real tea. Another one, this one's a very controversial opinion, unpopular opinion. I feel like most luxury YouTubers really, this is gonna be such a controversial one. I feel like they really do well in their accessory categories as far as handbags, jewelry, and footwear, and like scarves and eyewear. But I think a lot of luxury YouTubers really lack in their ready-to-wear, or they may you know, they may have like, let's say 10 Hermes Birkins or 5 Chanel bags and all these beautiful Van Cleef and everything, but their ready-to-wear is just not it. Wearing the same Balmain blazer, wearing the same Gucci blazer, if it makes you happy, do you. But for me, when I think of like a luxury YouTuber, I think of, you know, the beautiful ready-to-wear, beautiful clothes, beautiful everything. The clothing doesn't have to particularly have to be Max Mara. It doesn't have to be, you know, Alexander McQueen. I'm not saying that it has to be that, but I feel like it should be, it should match it, and it shouldn't have to be like a Chanel bag, Balmain blazer, Gucci shirt, you know, jeans that aren't flattering, and some Dior pumps that say Ja Dior. And the YouTubers need to kind of up their ready-to-wear game. You know, I'm nowhere near as perfect. I feel like I'm just now starting to kind of find my style, but at least I can say I identify my style really well, versus some people, they just think they just buy because it has a branding, that it has a name behind it, and not necessarily because of the quality, or not necessarily for other reasons. Don't get me wrong, I used to be like that all the time. You know, yes, I'm starting to buy, now that I stopped working in Nordstrom, I don't buy as much sell items if it doesn't make sense. I don't buy things kind of like off pieces that kind of look weird with a bunch of other items. I'm starting to really buy things that already define my style as now, or would elevate my style. But I will say a lot of luxury YouTubers don't really have style outside of their accessory counterparts, if you ask me. And that's a very unpopular opinion, but if you guys watch a lot of luxury YouTubers, I think you kind of agree with me on that. Not putting anybody down, but there's some that dress very beautiful, very nice, but there's some that just really lack it. Like when I watch the videos, I just feel like this is the look that you're serving me. You're serving me a Gucci t-shirt and some jeans, you know, Fendi shoes and a Chanel bag and like all these mismatches. This is the look that you're serving me. I'm not here for, and that's why I kind of stopped watching certain luxury YouTubers, because I just didn't feel I felt very, very uninspired. Now there's some that they give the girls a full look, they give the girls everything that I'm looking for, and I'm here for it. But there's some that I just feel like don't give me that kind of inspiration to kind of like, oh, like you're not like, you know, don't give me that to kind of like inquire about the item, or you don't give me that to kind of like, oh my god, that outfit's beautiful. You know, maybe the accessories are okay, but the outfits are just not it. They're not serving at all. Next unpopular opinion is I feel like Kurt Geiger bags aren't good quality, and I know I get shit on all the time, every single time I say that, and I'm gonna stand behind it 100%. I really don't think they're good quality. Even when I worked at Nordstrom, it would be one of the top items that I would always have to damage out. I remember one time I did a truck, and one of them had the beads, and I picked it up like this because it was supposed to be top handle. Girl, Miss Bead broke, and I NQC'd it, damaged it out, and then I put the other one on the floor, and a customer broke it, and I had to damage it out. And I just feel like the leather, like, it's just, I feel like the quality is not there. I do not like it. I think there's so many other brands that do better quality than Kurt Geiger. I just do not see the quality in it. I will say maybe I could see some of the bags, like the hard shell clutches and some of the items, they may be a little bit, but for me, like 90% of the Kurt Geiger bags, I think they're really pretty looking, and I know they got kind of popular on that one show, Elite, I think that's what it's called, that little rainbow bag, and that's how kind of like I started seeing a lot more people buying it. But other than the looks of it, I think the quality is not really there, and you know, Nordstrom has a very lenient return policy, so I would get returned, obviously, because I worked in handbags, and it would be one of the brands that would kind of get returned. It would always have like some sort of issues. So I would say Kurt Geiger is not good quality, and as much as it seems bad saying it as like a YouTuber, blogger, putting a brand down, I'm gonna stand behind that, what I say. And that's what I'm saying. In this whole video, I'm standing behind everything I'm saying. Next unpopular opinion is advent calendars are a total waste of money, and are not worth the money. I feel like for me, when I buy something other than like a Sephora favorites or something like that, obviously with advent calendars, you'll see, you know, there's a picture that shows you what it has before you buy it. But I think advent calendars are not worth the money versus like Sephora beauty favorites or like other kits that have like a bunch of other things. Those are full-size products, and for the most part, those are things that you could use all the time, and you know what you're getting, and it looks a little bit more presentable, or it has like a whole like makeup pouch that it has you could use. But I feel like advent calendars are just a bunch of samples that they put together in a box, and they literally sell it to you for an overpriced amount of money. And I think there's like, I don't see the excitement and I don't see the enjoyment of advent calendars. I really don't, unless there's one that's alcohol involved, girl, or like a food one, or something a little bit more novelty, like food, or like liquor, or like something that you can kind of enjoy with other people. But like skincare and beauty favorites, I've never seen the point of advent calendars. I've never bought some sort of beauty or fashion advent calendars. I just don't see the point in it. I think it's a waste of money, and a lot of times they're really expensive. And at the end of the day, those items you literally get free with samples at Sephora, at Nordstrom, at Macy's, at Dillard's. Those are free deluxe samples that you get all the time. Or if you're kiki and you're nice with the girls or the guys that work in the counters, they'll give it to you. And for me, if I really want something from that brand, instead of spending, you know, let's say $150 on an advent calendar just to try a bunch of their products, why won't I just buy, like, let's say the face wash, and I'll just ask for samples of all the other items at a department store. I just feel like advent calendars, I don't really see the enjoyment in it, and I always thought that they were such a waste of money, and I'm glad that I've never purchased one. And yeah, advent calendars, I think they're a total waste of money, guys, and I think you could totally buy completely something else. Next one is nothing wrong with price increases. These brands can do whatever they want. We live in a world where, you know, it's handbags, it's leather goods, and if Tory Burch, if Michael Kors, if, you know, Louis Vuitton, Hermes, you know, want to raise their prices, at the end of the day, it's not an essential item, so they have every reason to charge. As long as people are going to buy it, obviously they're going to stay in business, then I think there's nothing wrong with that. And I think people that get so triggered over versus price increases, I think there's other things to worry about. But I don't think there's nothing wrong with price increases, and it may cap me out. Like, I think some of the Dior's price increases, like from a couple years ago, capped me out of Dior. That's totally fine. There's other brands that I'll buy. I'm at the point where I'm kind of capping out of Chanel. That's totally fine. There's a bunch of other brands that I can try and love. So for me, I don't really care about the price increases. Once it gets to a certain price point, I kind of capped out. I know Prada just recently had a couple price increases within the last year. I'm still loving Prada. I can still justify some of the pieces, but after maybe 1 or 2 more price increases, I may be capped out for a little bit, or maybe a lot more pickier on what I want from Prada. But I think without further, I think there's nothing wrong with price increases, and people just take it way too seriously, if you ask me. Another unpopular opinion is I think other people's opinions shouldn't matter to you or should get to you, because I feel like a lot of people are so sensitive nowadays. I feel like so many people are sensitive. But for me, the reason why I have thick skin is because I've been bullied, girl, ever since, like, girl, I remember when somebody told me the F word in 2nd grade, and ever since then, girl, bully. So I've learned to have really thick skin, but some people cannot just take criticism. If I say I hate the Louis Vuitton Neverfull, which I don't, I actually quite like the Neverfull, people get so triggered, people get so upset. At the end of the day, if you love the item and you enjoy it, you shouldn't care what other people say. So I always take people's opinions with a grain of salt, and if somebody hates your Gucci belt, then let them hate the Gucci belt. You already have it, you're living your best life, it shouldn't really bother you. So I just feel like people, especially like on TikTok and stuff, a lot of people's opinions really trigger you, especially if it's like a complete stranger. You flip on a TikTok video and it's somebody that you don't even know and saying how they hate a Louis Vuitton Neverfull, and then you comment, oh, you're a hater, or whatever, you're whatever. I don't think that should bother you. If it bothers you that much, I think there's something wrong with you, especially if it's something materialistic or if it's something superficial as a handbag or as shoes or something like that. I think it has to do a lot more about you than them, because people are allowed to have their opinions, yes, but I feel like people just get way too sensitive. Ooh, way too sensitive. Unpopular opinion, I think Golden Gooses are such a joke, but I'm part of the joke as well because I actually own 2 pairs. I think Golden Gooses are the most fuggliest, ugliest shoes ever. I think who would want to spend $500 on a pair of shoes that look dirty? I think I've said this story before. I remember one time my dad like looked at me, he was like, Sergio, are you okay? Like, why are your shoes dirty? Do you need money for a new pair of shoes? And I was like, no, that's how they are. And he didn't believe me, so he actually took the shoe out of my foot. He tried to clean it, and I said, Google it up. That's how they're supposed to be. And he was like, oh my God. He started like laughing. He's like, how much did you spend on this? And I said, well, look it up. And $500, and he started making fun of me. So I would say they're like, it's such a funny joke. I think they're a waste of, like, I don't think they're a waste of money, but I just think that they're such a joke. But the thing is, I'm part of it because I have 2 pairs, but I just think that they're such a butt of a joke that it's actually funny. But I mean, some people may say, oh, fashion Golden Gooses are haute couture, Golden Gooses are everything. I think they're nice, I think they're good, but I think they're a butt of a joke if you ask me. Next one is Alexander McQueen sneakers are not out of style. They may be in that borderline where they're kind of a basic item, like a Neverfull or a Gucci belt, but I'm about to have my 5th pair, and I think that they're classic. I love the added height. I love the sneaker. They're so comfortable. They go with everything. I think they're a nice take on an everyday sneaker that's not like some of the other designer sneakers out there. I like that the branding just says it on the back, very minimal, and then the front is very clean. So even though some people may say it's basic or it's out of style, I'm still here with my McQueen sneakers, and I'm still gonna be wearing them, and I think I'm here for the Alexander McQueen sneaker totally. Next, unpopular opinion, I'm sick and tired of every celebrity and every single luxury brand or a contemporary brand coming out with a makeup line. We have so much makeup out there. I feel like every single day there's a whole makeup release, from Valentino to Ariana Grande to all these makeup brands or all these skincare brands. And don't get me wrong, I buy some from celebrities and these newer kind of like designers coming out with makeup. Don't get me wrong, I bought Rosie Huntington Whiteley makeup, but I actually think it's quite well. But I just feel like there's such an oversaturation of makeup already, and I always ask myself, like, at Sephora, like, are they just gonna keep on, because I feel like within the years, Sephora's like gondola, I think that's what it's called, I feel like it's gotten like more like compacted, and there's just so much product that is so overwhelming. I was at Ulta not too long ago, and I just feel like there were just, I mean, by far it is the holidays, there is gift sets and there's things all over, and it was a busy Saturday, but I just feel like there was so much product to choose from that it just made my head hurt so bad. I mean, did I still buy stuff? Yes, I did, but I feel like we need to stop with all this over makeup. And you always see like a makeup collection getting discontinued, like the Marc Jacobs makeup collection got discontinued like a couple months ago. So you always see makeup brands come and go, but the thing is, it's like such a waste. And then like literally like there's just so much oversaturation of makeup in the market, and I'm just kind of tired of it. Like I'm just like, oh girl, come out with something more, a little bit more original. At least give us a clothing brand, give us a footwear brand, give us something else than a makeup or skincare or cosmetic lineup of sort. I'm totally tired of it. I'm not sure if y'all agree with me, but girl, I'm a big Ariana Grande fan. Even when I saw, I was like, girl, I was like, not another makeup line, girl. I said you should have came out with clothing. That would have been a lot better. But I know with makeup, obviously, there's a higher markup, and you can charge, you know, a $5 item for $50. The markup on cosmetics is super, super insane. But girl, stop coming out with all these makeup lines, people. The next one is more than Cartier, Van Cleef, Rolex, Chanel, Louis Vuitton, and Hermes in the luxury space, and Gucci. There's more beautiful brands than those typical brands as for jewelry and for ready-to-wear shoes and, you know, handbags. I think there's more than that, and I'm actually gravitating towards other YouTubers that don't have these typical brands all the time. It's okay if they have, like, they show it and they have some piece, that's totally fine, but I'm starting to gravitate towards other YouTubers that don't have the same item, or that don't usually go for the same, like, typical basic thing. Or not basic because these are expensive items, but you know what I mean. Like, I just like a little bit of differentness. And so I feel like for me, I feel like every like luxury YouTuber does like the kind of the same thing, and it's starting to get a little bit repetitive. But you have to keep in mind, I've been watching luxury videos since like 10 years ago, so I've kind of seen it all. But for me, I will say I've been gravitating towards a lot more different YouTubers in the fashion space, and it has to, even if they even talk about like a lot of other brands that I may not even wear. So for me, I don't wear Rick Owens, it's not my style, but I don't mind watching a video about somebody explaining, you know, showing their Rick Owens shoes. So I'm starting to kind of get away from the mega typical fashion houses, and I kind of want to see other brands that people kind of haul, or that they show in their favorites video, or that they're shopping for. I think I've been wanting to see something a little bit different, and I've also been watching a little bit more men in the kind of like the luxury space, and I've also been watching a little bit more of different people from different backgrounds when it comes to kind of luxury videos. But I will say there's more than all those typical brands, and especially you can start finding that now on YouTube. I feel like even 2 years ago you didn't really have like that. So if any of you guys are into like any of the other brands that are not like typical, that you feel like people may not watch, people are going to watch it. So go ahead and post your little videos, and if you have a YouTube channel, leave it linked down below. I would love to check it out. I'm always looking to subscribe to new people all the time. I watch YouTube all the time. I may not comment, I will like the video and I'll subscribe, but I mean, I don't comment, but I do watch a lot of different types of people on YouTube. In their opinion, I feel like the drugstore makeup is starting to be as much or even better than brands, or than higher end makeup brands or just higher end skincare brands. I will always kind of prefer the higher end just because I would prefer the aesthetic of it. But if you're really talking about the performance of the item, and I will say I have been buying a little bit more drugstore products, like the shampoo that I'm using is from the drugstore, my face wash is from the drugstore, one of the moisturizers that I use is from the drugstore. I have been going, some of the little bit mixed makeup bits and bobs that I'm starting to wear is from the drugstore. So I have been seeing that I've been loving drugstore makeup. My mom has been loving drugstore makeup, and I feel like drugstore makeup has definitely stepped it up within the last 5 years. Even from like 2015 to now, makeup in the drugstore has come such a long way, and I'm totally here for it. And that's why you see a lot of kind of like mid-range brands and a lot of like higher end brands not doing as well as they once did, just because of the rise of so many indie brands and also the rise of the drugstore. And I will say drugstore isn't as affordable as it once was, but I think it's still way more of a fraction of a cost than $60-$70 foundation, even $45 foundation. So the drugstore mist thing, you've been coming through, girl. Give me my Wet n Wild foundation. That's actually a really great one, by the way. I think it's like the photo one. Another unpopular opinion, just because you can doesn't mean you should. And this goes with spending, this goes with your choices, this goes with everything. Just because you can buy an Hermes Birkin doesn't mean you should. Just because you can buy a luxury car doesn't mean you should. Just because you can do this doesn't mean you should. For me, I feel like I always, from 18 to kind of 20, I feel like I always kind of had to prove, and I always kind of had to like step it up. And I feel like now I just don't care enough. Like for me, yes, I can go buy a Chanel bag right now. Yes, I could change my car. Yes, I could do this. Yes, I could do that. But you know, I feel like that's part of me maturing. I feel like just knowing the option that you can do it is honestly is what satisfies me the most. And I'm glad that I kind of learned that now. But I will say, just because you have the means to do something doesn't mean you should. And you should always kind of have your things for a rainy day or when things hit the fan. So I will say, unpopular opinion, just because you can doesn't mean you should. And I'm also some of the people that I hang around with, and I used to ask them like, why won't you buy this? Why won't you do that? Like, you make so-and-so, you tell me this, you tell me that. And when somebody told me that advice, they're like, Sergio, why would I buy, you know, $100,000 car when my car that's, you know, $15,000 works perfectly fine. It's perfectly good. It takes me to point A, point B. I don't really care about cars. Who do I have to prove? Absolutely nobody. It's like I'm not even in town. I'm out for work. So there's just no point of it. Just because I can doesn't mean I should. So ever since that kind of conversation happened, that kind of stuck in my head. And now that I'm kind of like growing up a little bit more, I kind of noticed that just because you can doesn't necessarily mean you should. And I think the culture of like, oh my god, you have a bad day at work, go buy yourself so and so, you have this, and like shopping beyond your means or just because you can, I think that's something that's a little bit bad, and it may set some people up for failure as far as financially. So for me, I'm kind of glad that I kind of learned that, and that's why now like my style is like a lot changing. It's a lot more evolving because I feel like I don't have to prove anything to anybody. I'm me, myself, and I, and if I do like something genuinely, I'll wear it, but I'm not buying things for the wrong reasons anymore. Next one is unpopular opinion. I feel like Victoria's Secret is too late to make a comeback. So a lot of you guys know the company went under a couple years ago. I used to work for Victoria's Secret. You know, obviously we had all the scandals going around. I'm not going to talk about them because I'm not sure this video will go. So we're not going to talk about it, but we know the little cases of these things going around, and now they kind of like, now in the stores, like I walk past by it, there's no more of like the Victoria's Secret angels on the wall. Like the room is more lighter, the type of merchandise is more like airy based, and they're trying to compete with all these other brands that they should have done a long time ago. And so I feel like for me, every time I see Victoria's Secret, I'm like, it's still owned by L brands. It's still owned by, I mean, you can say, well, Sergio, you shop at Bath & Body Works. True, but they're two different brands, so I'm gonna make them separately. But I would just say, I don't think Victoria's Secret would ever go back to what it once was. And I feel like they kind of lost their momentum, and there's so many other brands, especially in the lingerie market, that has really dominated into Victoria's Secret out as the one-stop shop for beauty and for that experience. I think a lot more other brands are stepping up and doing that for them. Say it's Skims, or am I going to say it's Fendi X Savage? Am I going to say it's Lively or Lively or Airy or some of these other kind of women's lingerie brands or lifestyle brands? I'm not sure, but I will say they definitely are not going to make a comeback. And having Hailey Bieber, having all these people as like the new faces of the brand, I don't think it's gonna work, and I don't think they'll ever go back to it. And for me, ever since I stopped shopping Victoria's Secret about 2 years ago, I haven't been enthusiastic to purchase anything. And obviously my style has changed. I don't wear like pink or anything super crazy that kind of gives me like middle school vibes. And even like my mom, we used to like buy pink all the time. She would wear like pink sets, and now we kind of laugh about it. We're like, oh girl, that's like a hot mess. Also, a lot of the quality wasn't good. A lot of things would peel, a lot of things would rip, and a lot of scents wouldn't smell after a certain time. So I will say, I don't think Victoria's Secret will make a comeback anytime soon, and I don't think they'll bounce back, and I don't think they'll ever be what they once were, or the potential that they once had. I think Victoria's Secret's done for, and I think all this new thing that they're doing, being inclusive and bringing all these different people, I think it's very fabricated, and they're doing it because they have to make money, not because they feel like it's the right thing to do. So it just comes across as very ingenuous. So I feel like Victoria's Secret is just not what it used to be, and it wouldn't be surprised if they go a little bit under. I know they have been under, and I think they have been going up and down, but I think in the long run, I don't think that things are going to work out for them. Next one, any shoe over $200 that's shearling is not worth the money. Shearling goes on your feet. I have slippers that are shearling, and you know the fur is already like low. It's not good unless it's like an UGG boot. I can see that as an exception, but $100 on a Golden Goose slide, you're spending like $800, $900 on like Louis Vuitton and Dior Shearling shoes, or like Hermes Shearling or on sandals. All that stuff gets very dirty very easily. At least with an UGG boot, you don't see the sole because you're not walking around with it, but when you have a sandal or a slide, you see the shearling. Like if you stepped on a puddle, the shoe's over with. If you do this or that, and if you're not delicate with it, I think that the shoes are not worth the money. So I think if you do want that shearling fantasy, I think you should get a shoe that covers it and that has a shearling on the inside and that has a backing to it. Or if it's a coat or if it's a handbag, they have more control over it. But I think shearling shoes over $200, with the exception of UGG boots or with the exception of like it having a backing, I don't think they're worth the money. And I also think that shoes that are super embellished are also not worth the money, because a lot of the times, even with designer shoes, those embellishments aren't necessarily like they're not like secure enough, and so a stud and something can come off. So for me, I think anything like super studded or super shearling are not worth the money, because they're not going to look good over time. Unless you're just planning it to wear it one time, then do you, or for like a photo shoot. But I don't think there's longevity in that. And so to end the video, these are some of my unpopular opinions, guys. I would love to hear your thoughts and your opinions down below. I know these are very, very unpopular opinions, so I would love to see if you guys agree. If you guys disagree, what are some that you feel like I missed out? I would love to hear it down below. I want to say thank you so much for watching this video, guys. I love each and every single one of you, and I'll see you guys on tomorrow's video. And like I said, no hate towards anybody in particular. I mean, this is just my opinion. Stand 100% behind my opinions, and I won't apologize if I'm making somebody uncomfortable. I said what I said, and yeah. Bye, guys. Thank you so much for watching, y los miro hasta el próximo video.